Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to round one of season 5 of the 6 p.m. Wednesday division. My name is Jack. I am your commentator, and we are here this evening for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, Azerbaijan, not normally a track that you would think is going to be the start of the division, you know, the start of the calendar. It's not your typical, let's say, season opener. But it definitely should provide a very interesting Grand Prix. It should provide us with a bit of almost uncertainty in a way. It's going to be odd to see how the drivers really deal with having this sort of event. So we will see how everyone gets on. Let's make sure we've got all of our stream chats up and whatnot. There is the Twitch. We got the TikTok up as well then. And we are all ready for our 16.5 minutes left of qualifying here in Baku. MUFC Harvey is the first man out on track. And the Audi driver will try and set the first lap time. Obviously, track limits can always stop that, a little invalidation. And that is your lap over. We've got Sander in the chat. Welcome in, Sander. Good to see you, mate. Sander out on track at the moment, driving for Alpine. We've got Ferrari fan driving for Alpine. It's almost like I remember when Ferrari for Life used to drive in MOR. And he'd be in different cars, and I always used to find it so weird to say, oh, Ferrari for Life, the Red Bull man, or whatever car he was in as Fade, has crashed out of this qualifying session. And you can see where that incident has occurred on board with Sander. It's Harvey then on his opening lap. Jarmin is back again. Jarmin in the Aston Martin tonight. Jarmin, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is your first championship event, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure. We've got MUFC Harvey, who did tag the wall out of the chicane now into the infamous castle section. Requires 100% commitment through there. Again into the wall is Harvey. A lot of understeer for the Audi driver as he now makes his way towards the final sector. Taffy Ross saying, oh, join. If you are looking to join our server, head to our Discord bio. Our TikTok bio, sorry. And there is a link to our Discord in the chat. MUFC Harvey has invalidated. Who is the other Aston Martin? It's Lawless Fever, who will be setting the first competitive lap time of this session. And Lawless Fever making his way towards the line then. The Aston Martin burning all the battery that he possibly can. And it's a 1 minute 39.6 for him. Jarmin just in behind will begin his lap. We've got Jack Plays coming down the straight as well. Has got plenty of battery to burn up towards the line. And Jack Plays goes into P2. We've then got, I believe, one of the Williams cars. That might be Leon. It is Leon who's coming towards the line. It goes into P3. Then it's one of the Haas cars, I believe. It's Luke M that is making his way to the line. He goes up into P2. Now I believe we've got a Red Bull. That is Blake, who is on an outlap. So we now look to, I think, Sander. It is Sander who is making his way towards the line. And Sander now goes second. And that is very, very close margins between Lawless Fever and Sander. We've got Kian just coming down the main straight. That's Harco Bandit that's just coming to the line. Then we've got one of the Mercedes men. That's Greco Theo, who's coming into the pit lane. TTV Kian crosses the line to start his lap. It's Deckers, goes into P4 just behind his Haas teammate. We did indeed get the username back, Jarman. Thank God. We definitely aren't WRC anymore. Taffy saying it won't let me join. Is there some sort of error message that it's coming up with, Taffy? I can do my very best to help you. I'm not sure why it would be that that is happening. MOR Blake then. Coming through the middle sector. What can the Red Bull driver produce? This is a division that we would expect Blake to be towards the front in. Of course, Lawless Fever, Sander and Saban, as well as Llama, would probably be your real contenders for the championship, as well as JF1. So we would definitely assume that Blake will be top 4, top 5. He makes his way towards the line now. And MOR Blake does go into P4. Obviously, tracks can vary. You know, Lawless Fever might really love Baku. And Saban might really love whatever track is next on the calendar. So it all comes down to what tracks you like, what tracks you dislike. I will quickly check our Discord link. I mean, it says it's fine for me, Taffy. If you go to our bio, you click the Discord link, you click the pink box, and then it should say you've been invited to join MOR Esports. And then if you press accept invite, if that doesn't work, then the only other thing I would be able to suggest is typing in the Discord link into, if you go into Discord and go to the little plus symbol and click join a server, and you can type in the invite code. That would be my only other recommendation of how to join. TTV Kian with a 47.3. I can assure you that is not Kian's actual pace. And I imagine that he will get quicker as time goes on. Alcada has just gone into P13 with a 1 minute 44.6. We've got Jarman, who has just started his first flying lap. 9 minutes and about 45 seconds left of qualifying. And Jarman now trying to put his name onto the timing sheets. The Aston Martin driver coming through the first sector now. He's got one of the Cadillacs right behind him. And that will be Alcada, who is on an in-lap. Jarman, I believe, has aborted this lap as Jack Plays has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. That is very confusing. Jack Plays will start this Grand Prix from 19th place for blocking the pit lane. Looks like HTL Llama. I want to say this is an outlap, although I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure how much battery you use. Typically, we will see as he uses the battery here. No, maybe is on a lap. Is the Ferrari man making his way towards the end of the second sector. Sector 2 split will pop up in the top right hand side of your screen. It's the 1 minute 14.9. Has saved plenty of battery to make his way down the final straight. You can see that battery drained so quickly. Had 70%. All the way down now to none. And it's going to spend a lot of the straight in non-ERS mode. HTL Llama, though, it is quickest. A 1 minute 39.2 for the Ferrari driver. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Haas looking very strong. We've got Ferrari looking very strong as well. Of course, we are missing 3 drivers today. But definitely Haas, Ferrari are looking like your main contenders. Jarmin and Jay haven't set a lap yet. Fade, unfortunately, crashed out of qualifying as Lawless Fever now goes back to the top then. With a 1 minute 39.1. And Lawless Fever, the Aston Martin man, absolutely flying. You can see Sander is just coming through the castle section now. The commitment that Sander took into that castle section. Absolutely incredible stuff. As Sander is looking to try and get himself in this fight. We've got 4 drivers in the 1 minute 39s at the moment. Sander being the third of those drivers. But Llama and Lawless Fever looking a little bit further ahead at least this stage of qualifying. Luke M has just gone into P5. We've got Blake on an outlap. Here comes Sander then. Has used a lot of battery before we get to the main straight. And Sander is going to come into the pit lane. I wonder if Saban is going onto a lap now or coming into the pits. It looks like he is going onto a lap. And Saban, you can see, burning the battery quite late on towards turn 1. The qualifying strategy, very different. That is a car in the wall there. Who is that? That is, I believe, the Mercedes that's backwards. It was Greco Theo that is backwards and has big damage to the front wing. Saban on his lap. We've got Blake on a lap as well. The Red Bull driver has been overtaken by Luke. As I say, Blake we would expect in the top 5, and he is improving on this lap. The Red Bull man giving everything to try and improve. His teammate Kian currently down in 16th. Sander says it's his first time doing Baku. Blake is going to come into the pit lane. Doesn't think that lap was good enough. Saban then, the McLaren driver, 2 tenths off of Sander, about 6 tenths off of Llama, 7 off of Lawless Fever. As JF1 has crashed out down at turn 1. I wonder if that was maybe intentional. Saban does go into 3rd place. JF1 did just go completely straight on at turn 1 and is out of this session. A 1 minute 43.8 is his best lap time. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri saying, is this the 4 p.m. basically and 6 p.m.? This is the 6 p.m. race. The 4 p.m. race was a social race. This is a championship event. So they are, I guess they're similar. This is a short qualifying 50% drivers score points. The 4 p.m. was a one-shot qualifying 35% drivers don't score points event, if that makes any sense at all. But the big difference is being that this is championship regulated and the 4 p.m. wasn't. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri saying I'm assigned to Merck in the 6 p.m. division for Wednesdays. Because if you are, we can get you back in, or we can get you in so you are able to race. HTL Llama is on his latest lap in this session. The Ferrari driver trying to gain about half a tenth. Yes, add me, please. What is your Discord name? Because I'll just need to check the lineup to make sure that you are on there. So let me know what your Discord name is, and we will get you in. Sniper. Oh, okay. What is your EA name? Add me. I'll put my EA name in the chat. Add me on EA, and we will get you back, or get you in the session, sorry, as soon as possible. 2 minutes left of qualifying here in Baku, ladies and gentlemen. HTL Llama is pushing on towards the final part of the lap. Alfie, you'll need to add me because I'm commentating. Llama making his way towards the line then. And it is improvement for HTL Llama. The first man into the 1 minute 38. And it is by a big margin as well. Lawless will try and fight this back, as it sounds like someone is in the barriers. Lawless getting through unscathed. And the Aston Martin driver needs about 2.5 tenths of improvement if he is to beat HTL Llama in this qualifying session. As the dog starts going mental in the background, trying to give us some co-commentary. Lawless Fever then into the final chicane. And the Aston Martin driver giving it everything in the final sector. Crazy. Mentioning about the co-commentator as well. Lawless Fever 8 milliseconds up through the middle sector. Needs a lightning final part of the lap if he is to improve to provisional pole. So what does Lawless Fever have in store for us? Down the main straight we go. Lawless Fever crosses the line. It is improvement, but it's not enough to get back to provisional pole position. We've got Jack Crossley in the chat. Welcome in, Jack. Good to see you, mate. Hope your holiday has been going well. Crazy saying I love the co-commentary from the dog when it happens. It is brilliant, I must say. Ava trying to get involved. Jay saying, JP, I crashed because my TV HDMI fried. Had to plug in a new one. My PB could have put me in P10. Jay currently in P16. Qualifying is now over, ladies and gentlemen. So HTL Llama is currently on provisional pole position. Lawless Fever won't improve. Sander, it does look like Sander's on a lap, so Sander could improve in this session. Jack saying I'm home, finally be back on comms tomorrow. Love to hear it, Jack. Looking forward to having you back in the commentary booth. It's been a lonely, what has it been? A week and a half, 2 weeks that you've been gone? It's been lonely. It's been very fun though, I must say. Harco Bandit is, I don't believe, on a lap, especially with not much battery into the final sector. Potentially the VCARB driver is pushing on. Decker's just coming through the final sector. Is Decker's on a push lap? It most certainly looks like it. Deploying the battery towards the line. We've got yellow flags as someone dives into the pit lane. Decker's crashes trying to come into the pit lane. Harco Bandit is going to come towards the line then and does not improve. Sander makes his way towards the line. Can he take provisional pole? He goes into third ahead of Saban. He gets much closer to Lawless Fever. Alcada goes into 16th ahead of Jay. That is your qualifying over, ladies and gentlemen. It is HTL Llama that takes pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lawless Fever in second with Sander in third. Saban is fourth with MOR. Blake in 5th place. Luke is 6th with Ferrari Fan in 7th. Duran is in 8th with Jarman in 9th. And Harco Bandit in 10th place. We just wait for Lawless Fever to get wheeled into the pit lane. Sander saying he drifted through turn 1, so could have been even more improvement for Sander as well. But there are your qualifying results. It's Llama from Fever, Sander from Saban, Blake from Luke, Ferrari from Duran, Jarmin from Harko as your top 10. We have got a brilliant opening round coming for you from Azerbaijan. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix is up next. Welcome back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the formation lap here in Baku. Medium tyres, looking like the preferred Pirelli. We've got a lot of runners from 12th really down to 19th besides Kian and Jay on the hard compound tyres. Harko Bandit in 10th, starting on the softs. Everyone else electing for the medium compound tyres, but it's HTL Llama that will start this race on pole position. Greco Theo and Leon in 13th and 14th. As we will get our position change graphic up, so we know where all the action is going on the lap. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, you will have to check in the server if there are reserve seats available for the 8 p.m. division. I'm not sure who runs that. I want to say the best person to ask would be Blake. Maybe Ollie as well. I know Mikey's away at the moment. So I wouldn't ask him. I would have said the best person to ask is Blake. So do pop him a message and ask if there are reserve seats available. And we will see if we can get you in the session. If not, of course, we're racing every single day. So there will always be reserve seats going and full-time seats going as well. As HGL Llama then comes through on the formation lap. We've got a few people disqualified from the formation lap. Jack Plays in 19th at the back of the grid. And the Cadillac driver will bring up the rear of the field in 19th. As HTL Llama then gets himself lined up on pole position. Jack Plays just making his way through the final couple of corners. We know that Baku can provide us with chaos. It's a season opener here as well. So definitely expect some fireworks. All that is left to do, ladies and gentlemen, is wait for the lights. The engines roar to life then, ladies and gentlemen. Another season opener in MOR Esports. It's lights out and away we go. HTO Llama with an immediate drive-through penalty. The pole sitter jumping the start. Sander in second place with Lawless Fever in third. Saban running in fourth with Luke M in fifth. We've already got some damage, and that is someone going very wide and into the runoff, and that is Leon, who is now down in 19th place. And we've got our first virtual safety car deployed in this race. I'm assuming that is for Leon. I can't see anyone without a front wing. Fade slowing down. We've got a lot of cars slowing down here. The first of them being Jarmin. We've got MUFC Harvey with a lot of damage. Can't see anyone with no front wing though. It's still Llama that is your leader, as Saban now picks up a 10-second penalty as well. Harco Bandit with a lot of damage. We go back to green flag racing, as it sounds like we've got cars in the wall all over the place. Everyone continuing on though. It is HTL Llama that is your leader by 1.6 seconds. But a drive-through penalty for him, and the penalties that we've got in this race so far, as Harco Bandit is out. And already at the end of lap 1, we have got a safety car deployed in this race. HTL Llama, I don't think you can serve a drive-through under a safety car, if I'm not mistaken. So Llama is going to be even more compromised. It does look like he's coming into pit. No, he's staying out. Harco Bandit leaves the session after his crash. We've got Saban in the pit lane, obviously, to serve that 10-second penalty. We've got Deckers in the pit lane, Alcada in the pit lane. Alcada comes in for a front wing change. Harvey also changing that front wing, as is Deckers, as is Fade. So a lot of front wings that have been swiped off in the early going of this Grand Prix. We're only on lap 2, and we have already got a safety car deployed in this race. HTL Llama then is your leader, but albeit with a penalty. A drive-through penalty as well. LM saying the safety car is glitched. Saban got a penalty for nothing because he re-overtook me. That is a usual glitch that we see if there is sort of overtaking under the safety car. People then get illegal overtakes trying to get back through on the car that overtook them. As Leon... Has Leon just been into the wall there? I can see... Or I think I could see some damage. Yes, Leon has swiped off his front wing under the safety car. Shades of Roman Grosjean. And Leon is going to have to come back into the pit lane at the end of this lap. It's HTL Llama that is your leader, but that drive-through penalty is going to hurt him. We assume he will have to serve it at the end of the opening lap under the safety car. And that will surely drop him down to last place. So it's Llama that is in the lead. It will be Sander that is your leader. Sander saying in the TikTok chat before this race that it was his first time ever driving this track. And I must say, if it is his first time, he's doing a very good job of it. Lawless Fever running in a net second place. It's Luke M in third. With Duran in fourth. Blake technically in fifth. Safety car should be in again this lap as Leon catches up to the rear of the field. HTL Llama is your leader and will get us underway. I'm not sure if he'll be into the pit lane at the end of this lap or at the end of the next one. As the lights on the safety car should go out at any moment then and signal this race getting back underway, and that is exactly what we have got now then. Llama becomes the pace car. The question is, when will he go? Because it is a very, very long way down to turn one. You do not want a car in your slipstream for too long. So when does the Ferrari decide to go? You can see Sander raring to get on with this race. Llama leaving it as late as possible. Has gone now then. Has caught Sander a little bit off guard. As we've already got people changing positions, they will have to give those back as Blake runs very wide into turn one and it's going to get put in the wall here. And Blake has to back out of it to avoid getting damaged. Now down to 13th place as that is someone spun round and someone out. The Aston Martin of Jarman is out of this race, and already we have got another safety car deployed here in Baku. We're only on lap 4. We already have 2 safety cars deployed. Was that someone in the wall under the safety car there? It was. It was Lawless Fever. Lawless Fever has been in the barriers and is now down to 11th place and has damage. TTV Kian is currently running in 5th place. Deckers gets a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. This is easily one of the most chaotic races I have ever seen. Let's look at our tyre graphic quick. And no, nobody has really been in... Well, nobody's been in the pit lane in the top 11. The Kian is genuinely running P5 at the moment. The best constructor, of course, at the moment is looking like Ferrari, but Llama, with that drive-through penalty, that will drop him to the back of the grid. Haas looking pretty decent. Alpine are probably the best constructor at the moment. Running in 2nd and 7th. Bitbull saying what's gone on. There is carnage ensuing, shall we say, in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're on lap 5 of 26, and this is our 2nd safety car already. I don't think we have had a racing lap in this race. We had lap 1 and the safety car was deployed. It went to lap 3 or lap 4. And then another safety car got deployed out of turn 2. So we got a corner of racing action. And now there is another safety car deployed because Jarman is out of the race. So we will go till about lap 7, lap 8. I would imagine probably lap 7. And we won't have had a racing lap in this Grand Prix. Blake near enough got murdered into turn 1. LM says. Blake pretty much got murdered behind me. He did very nearly get murdered, I must say. We were on board with Blake. We saw him losing a lot of positions. He got forced towards the wall. Luckily, Blake had a bit of common sense and backed out of it. Otherwise, that would have been a crash. Crazy saying 8 PM might have to be delayed because of how long this will go on at this point. I doubt it will be delayed. I mean, what are we now? 20 to 7. I mean, we'll probably have time. I'll have time for about a 5-minute smoke and then we'll be straight back to commentary, it sounds like. HCL Llama then, with the drive-through penalty. And I am a bit worried for Llama because I have seen many an instance where drive-through penalties glitch under safety cars and safety car restarts and people get a bit out of shape. Hopefully there are no glitches or anything that happen to HTL Llama. Sander running in second. We're on lap 6 of 26. The furthest we've made it round a racing lap is, I think, about to the castle section, if I'm not mistaken. Spitball saying all waiting for JF1 to catch up. Here is JF1. Let's go on board with the GOAT, shall we? JF1 catching the safety car, as you do. JF1 currently in dead last. P17. We've lost 2 drivers in this race. Jarman and Harco Bandit. Safety car should be in this lap then. And we can only hope that we get some sort of racing action. It's Sander that will be your leader once Llama comes in to serve the drive-through penalty. Jay saying he'll do a Perez from 2020. We'll go back on board then with Llama. The safety car lights should go out at any moment, signifying that Bernd Mailander will be coming back into the pit lane. And the safety car is in this lap then. And we will return to green flag conditions at the end of lap 6 and the start of lap 7. Llama did get a good getaway under the first safety car restart. Has now got to try and execute another. Llama versus Sander versus Luke. TTV Kian running in 5th. The Ferrari trying to catch the Alpine out. Fade gets a 10-second penalty for a collision with Jay, and we can go racing then. And look at the start of Luke M, who's looking to the inside line of turn 1. Sander goes defensive. As into turn 1 we go. That's a Haas car going relatively wide, and that is a spinner. It looks like at the back, one of the Williams cars getting all out of shape. We've got some damage down there as well. But we have all made it through the first 2 corners, and we are officially racing. HTL Llama is your leader. Sander in 2nd place. Luke M is 3rd with Duran in 4th. TTV Kian running in 5th place. Greco Theo is 6th, but is in ghost mode as that was a car going up in the air. That was Jack Plays in the Cadillac, who's trying to battle away with Greco, who is no longer in that ghost mode. Yellow flags I believe that's just a visual glitch as Saban gets through on Alcada and up into 9th place. MUFC Harvey also gets through on Alcada and up into 10th. Let's go on board with Saban. He's trying to make a bit of a comeback from that 10-second penalty. Can the McLaren driver get through on the Haas? And the end of this sector, you want to always be saving your battery as much as possible for the final straight. As that was someone going very wide. That was Greco tagging the barriers. Lama already pulling a gap as JF1 is out. And we aren't going to get a full racing lap as the safety car is deployed again. I do not believe what I am seeing. We are going to be 10 laps into this race without a racing lap. We were so close. And JF1 is out. Fade has just crashed under the safety car as well and is out too. I want to say we've used up all the safety cars. We were so close. No, Brands, we have not had a full racing lap. Lap 1, the safety car came out. That went in lap 4. I think we got to the castle section on lap 1, then the safety car came out. That came in on the beginning of lap 4. Out of turn 2, there was a crash. So we had 2 corners. Then there was a crash, safety car deployed. That came in at the end of lap 7, the start of lap... the end of lap 6, the start of lap 7. And then JF1 crashed in the final sector. And that is our 3rd safety car. We're going to have gone 10 laps without a drive-through penalty. And the only man this is going to be hurting is Lama. Because he has got that drive-through penalty. The less laps he has to recover, the worse it's going to be for him. It's lap 8 then. In this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And we are under the safety car. After JF1 crashed out of this race. We've lost Harko, Jarmin, Jay and Fade. HTL Lama is your leader. Although with that drive-through penalty, as you can see. LM saying, trust me, Saban will win. He can probably go to the end on hards. That is a decent point. Saban running in 6th. If he can take the hard tyres, it will be about 16 laps, really. Because 6 laps under the safety car isn't really going to do anything to your hard compound Pirellis. As that is Duran that is going to come into the pit lane. And gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Duran's race well and truly compromised as well. Lama is still your leader, TTV Kian, now running in 4th place. This is easily one of the most chaotic races I have seen in a long time, it must be said. Lap 9 of 26 then, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, or I should really say the Azerbaijan Carnival, because we're travelling around at walking pace. 60 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour. Lama has had that drive-through penalty since lap 1. He's not been able to serve it. Safety car is in this lap then. We will have officially gone 10 laps without a racing lap at the end of this tour. Alcada, I'll invite you back after the safety car restart. We do just want to make sure we catch the action in case something happens. We've seen the safety car restarts be pretty chaotic, it must be said. As Sander hunting down the prancing horse once more. Sander really trying to anticipate when Llama's gonna go, but Llama catches him off guard. And we go back to green flags then. Look at Luke M on the outside of Sander. Sander gets all out of shape. That was a Red Bull going wide. That's TTV Kian, who loses the position to Saban. Ferrari fan and TTV Kian going wheel to wheel. You've also got Lawless Fever in that fight as well. As they all make their way through. We are all the way through turn 2. As wheel to wheel go Lawless Fever and TTV Kian. Now down to 6th. Ferrari fan will be trying to get through on him as well. As MUFC Harvey gets through on Leon, who was in ghost mode. Blake now down to 11th behind its Deckers. As Greco Theo goes into ghost mode behind the rear wing of Jack Plays, and Greco goes into the back of Jack Plays. Very lucky not to be off the road there. As that's Ferrari that gets all out of shape. The Alpine driver struggling with the rear end. It does look like we're going to get a full racing lap, ladies and gentlemen. It only took us 10 laps, but we will get a racing lap here in Abu Dhabi. I imagine the Ferrari will be into the pit lane to serve the drive-through penalty. He will be into the pit lane to serve the drive-through penalty. Finally. He gets slowed down and Llama brings himself in for the drive-through. I'm not sure if this will drop him to last place. It may put him just down to 13th. As you can see, Alcada gaining. MUFC Harvey comes into the pit lane. Salama comes out in 13th and has still got to stop in this race. As do the likes of Sander, Lawless, Luke, and... well, no. Technically, Lawless doesn't. And Greco don't. Saban doesn't really need to pit either. Saban, I think, has got a brilliant chance of winning this race if he can make those tyres last. As Ferrari fan is now out of the race, and we've got a virtual safety car deployed in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. No, it's a full safety car. The full safety car is deployed. This is the 4th safety car in this race. What am I seeing? Harvey now picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the speeding under the safety car. I cannot believe what I am witnessing here today. Sander is going to come into pit. Saban should easily be able to stay out. Deckers will stay out and take 2nd place. We are 12 laps in, and imagine we'll be about 14 laps in, 15, before we go racing. And we will have had one racing lap in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This is crazy. And the worst part is, Saban's tyres are 10 laps old. And they are probably only about 5% worn. Because we just have not had any racing action. Harvey now retires in the pit lane. This is absolute insanity. I have never, ever seen a league race like this before in all my time. Saban is your leader then. Decker's in second place with Greco in third. MOR Blake is fourth with Jack Plays in fifth. This is astonishing, to be honest. I thought there was a limit to how many safety cars you could have in a Grand Prix. I thought that limit was 3. Well, this is our 4th safety car in this race. I'm going to assume the limit is 5, and if that is true, we've still got enough for one more safety car. Crazy saying, I don't think there's a limit. I think it can't come out with only 2 laps left. I'm pretty sure there is a limit to how many safety cars you can have in a race. I'm sure of it. There at least used to be one on like F1 25. If you got to a certain amount of safety cars, you couldn't have any more. I don't know why that would have changed for the F1 26 game. Jay saying there isn't a limit. Okay. Well, that doesn't bode well for us. We might genuinely finish this race with about 4 racing laps. Safety car should be in this lap then, ladies and gentlemen. Brand's saying just searched it. There isn't one, but there used to be a limit of 6 for online a few years ago. Ah, okay. Thank you for that info, Brands. I do appreciate that. So we could genuinely have a situation here where we have about 4 racing laps. Hopefully, that is not the case. We have just hit the halfway point of this race. And we've had a single racing lap in it. That is absurd. It's Saban that is your leader then. And we'll be dealing with the safety car restart. Greco Theo is in second with Deckers in third. Jay saying, JP, can you check your DMs when the red flag comes out? I will have a look at some point, Jay, don't worry. But it looks like I'm going to be pretty busy as we get the race restarted then. You got to remember, pretty much straight after this will be the 8 PM race as well. Blake looking down the inside of Deckers into turn 1. But is not able to make the move. Decides to hit a bit of the lift and coasting. As we've already got some carbon fiber confetti flying about. We've got through the first 2 corners safely. As that is almost 3 abreast into the next corner, and that's someone going very straight on. That was one of the Aston Martins, and it is big damage for Lawless Fever. HTL Llama gets through into 7th place. Sander getting ahead of TTV Kian. And up into 10th. Sander now going to look for 9th place on Luke M. Not able to make the move at the moment. Out in front, Saban 1.5 seconds clear already of Greco Theo. The Mercedes man not able to keep up with the pace of Saban at all. He is flying away with this race. Deckers right in behind the Mercedes. Deckers has got some damage to the front wing. As we make our way through the final corner, we're gonna get 2 racing laps in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is most certainly something to celebrate. As Deckers charges after Greco then. And Deckers with more battery, with the overtake boost, with the slipstream, is surely going to get his way through into 2nd place. Saban with the fastest lap. Greco will try and fight this down the inside. But Deckers does make his way through into 2nd place. Blake fighting away with the Mercedes. You've got HTL Llama right behind this, who's trying to make this 3 abreast. Towards the left-hander we go. HTL Llama down the inside on MOR Blake and Llama. That is a very quick start for the Ferrari. Sander hasn't been able to replicate it. As Llama now looking for the inside line on Deckers and takes 2nd place. Llama absolutely flying. The question is, can he close down the gap to Saban? And if he can, how quickly can he do it? Saban has got some real pressure on him now. From Llama right behind him on brand new tyres. We know how quick Llama can be. And the Ferrari absolutely flying here tonight. We've got Durant right on the back of Greco Theo. Sander involved in this fight as well. Has Greco just lagged behind everyone? I didn't see any sort of overtake go on there. Sander up to 6th then. Durant up to 5th. You can see though Sander with much more battery than Durant is just going to fly through and up into 5th place in this race. Saban sets the fastest lap of the race. That's immediately usurped by HTL Llama. Blake now running in 3rd. He's got through on Deckers and is looking for a podium in this race. Luke M and Duran still fighting away. Ferrari versus Haas. Both Ferrari powered. Luke with a little bit more battery usage is going to find his way through into 6th place. As Greco, Theo and Kian do battle as well. Looks like Greco has got some big damage. He has got some very big damage to the front wing. Has Greco. Currently running in 9th. Saban is your leader then, but that gap is dropping between Llama and Saban. We're 10 laps away from the end of this Grand Prix. It's not been too much of a race so far. It's mainly been a parade, but we've now got some racing laps. And we can get on with the action. We've got a train from Blake all the way down to Duran in 7th. As Llama continues gaining on Saban. Sander now trying to gain on Deckers. This is the battle for 4th place. Deckers hasn't got much battery. Neither has Blake. Sander has got plenty. As down the main straight we go. The Alpine driver is gaining. Llama with a new fastest lap. Sander forced to the outside line. Not able to make a move. And that is Deckers going straight into the side of Blake. That compromises him. It compromises Sander as well. Look at Luke now trying to go around the outside as well. Look at Duran on the inside, and Sander really compromised and now down to 7th place in this race. It's going to look to go round the outside of Duran. Turns into the Ferrari car, and I guess that's an effective way of overtaking. I wonder if we might hear from the stewards about that, as Sander makes his way back up into 6th. Sander getting very compromised by Deckers, who is still defending even with that massive front wing damage to his car. You don't really want to throw a dive bomb into the castle. You can see Sander rear-ending Deckers at every available opportunity. Sander will now deploy the battery and try and make his way through. But Deckers is deploying his overtake and not allowing Sander through. And this is really holding up the Alpine driver, as Deckers again using his battery to his advantage. Deckers saving the battery very well. Well, let's go on board with Sander, because Deckers will have to lift through here, as Lama does take the lead off of Saban. Lama is now your leader in this race. You can see Deckers doing everything to try and defend. Sander has ran out of battery. Now look at Duran, who's going to overtake Sander. Is going to try and overtake Deckers into turn 1. And that is very close to the Ferrari being in the barriers, as Sander has had a moment. And Sander retiring on track. Deckers with the defense of a lifetime, and it is cracked Sander, who retires on track. That's big contact into the wall for Deckers, who now does not have a front wing at all. Kian trying to get through. Duran trying to get through as well. Is Kian able to find a way by? Deckers is really holding up the likes of Kian and Duran at this point of the race, as Deckers lets them both go, realizes he doesn't want to fight them too hard with no front wing. But this has really gifted the likes of Blake a chance at a podium spot, and it's really gifted the likes of Kian with an opportunity of finishing in the top 5. Deckers has now crashed out of the race. Luckily, we don't get a safety car. I think I've got PTSD from safety cars now, as Kian and Duran scrapping away. Duran does get up into 5th, but Kian with much more battery. And you can see Kian burning the battery pack. Towards turn 1 we go, trying to stay in the slipstream, but not gaining enough on the Ferrari. Duran, of course, has a penalty, that being a 10-second penalty, so Kian just has to stick with him. As Lama is now leading this race by 1.4 seconds. Kian is coming back at Duran towards the left-hander. Down the inside he goes. Little bit of wheel banging between them, but they managed to continue on in this race unfazed. Alcada comes into the pit lane. I wonder if that is for a new front wing. It most certainly is. A lot of damage to that front wing. Alcada onto the soft compound tyres. HTL Lama is your leader then. We move on to lap 20 of 26. Someone's saying Saban needs to pit. I would disagree. I think Saban would easily take a second place from where he was after the 10-second penalty. Yes, he might not be winning, but it's an easy second place for him. Blake is 9.3 seconds back, fighting away with Luke M. Luke burning the battery is going towards the inside line, and Luke does make his way into third place on the road. Blake will of course try and fight this back. Closest battle on track is between Blake and Luke as Greco gets through on Lawless, who has been into the runoff, and Lawless fever not having and not experiencing the greatest race that he has ever had. Currently down in 9th and some more damage to the front wing of that Aston Martin. Blake is chasing down Luke M then in the battle for third place. HTL Llama sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Blake still chasing after Luke M as we cross the line with them to begin lap 21. Blake currently running in 4th place. And the Red Bull driver trying to battle away with Luke and get a podium place in this season opener. Few people come into the pit lane, the first of those being TTV Kian, who will now be trying to chase down Greco Theo, who has not pitted yet. TTV Kian looking for a top 7 finish in the first round of this season. Greco straight into the wall at the castle section, and that is going to be big damage for the Mercedes as the Mercedes gets all out of shape, and it spooks Kian, who gets off the throttle but eventually does get through. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, it's definitely looking like Ferrari are the early dominant force. Red Bull not too far behind. McLaren only had one driver on show today. Saban in second. We'll have to see who the second driver is for McLaren. Haas looked good until Deckers had his unfortunate moment. Alpine also looked pretty quick, but both of those drivers now out of the race. Cadillac scoring double points as well. There's only 3 teams that have both drivers left in the race, as Leon has now crashed out. It's too close to the end of the race to be a full or virtual safety car. And that leaves us with 10 drivers here in Baku today. HGL Llama is your leader by 4.2 seconds. The UFRT Saban. Llama absolutely flying at this phase of the race. Closest battle on track is between Blake and Luke M. The gap between them, 2.8 seconds at the moment. Max Verstappen asking what track is 10 p.m. I don't think it's been decided yet, to be completely honest. Best bet would be asking someone like Blake or Ollie. I would imagine it's just whoever's hosting the lobby will decide the track when they set the lobby up. Brand's saying Llama has been rapid all week in the divisions. Exactly that. He has been very, very quick. I want to say has been one of the more underrated quick drivers. You know, a lot of people look at Saban, Solar, Kevin, and immediately know, oh yeah, they're quick. Llama is very, very rapid. Alcada, please focus on driving rather than texting in the TikTok stream. Closest battle on track still between Blake and Luke, as Greco Theo has now crashed out of the race. And we are left with 9 in this Grand Prix. V1 Aviation saying, is there another race tonight? There is indeed at 8 p.m, which is a championship division. And then 10 p.m, which is a social race. I will be commentating the 8 p.m, not the 10 p.m. The 8 p.m. coming up for you in about 45 minutes' time. As that was another car into the barriers. That was Alcada, who has picked up even more front wing damage. I'm sure Cadillac will be asking for some of the money back for all the front wings that Alcada has broken today. He's just been lapped by HTL Llama. Greco Theo leaves the session after his retirement. Blake comes into the pit lane to try and get the fastest lap of the race. That is a bit of a confusing pit stop, to be honest. Blake would have been finishing in 4th, but gives that up in pursuit of the fastest lap, unless he thinks he's still going to finish within 10 seconds of Duran, as Blake, coming out of the pit lane, has gone into the barriers and got major front wing damage. I imagine what Blake thought is that he would box for the fastest lap, get the extra point, and would still finish within 10 seconds of Duran and take P4. But Blake, now with major front wing damage, Duran with no damage at all. And I highly doubt Blake will get back in the 10-second now. As Blake now picks up a 3-second penalty as well. So would need 7 seconds, or would need to be within 7 seconds of Duran. Nobody... Well, you are allowed to join the 8 p.m. as a reserve, but the full-time lineups are obviously prioritized. If there are open seats, people will be pinged. So if you are interested in reserving at 8 p.m, do let, I believe, either Blake or Ollie know. V1 Aviation saying, do you know who's commentating later? And if so, will it be on YouTube or Twitch? I'm not sure who is commentating. It will be on Twitch, on YouTube, on TikTok. And I think that's it for now. Shavaton saying, how long will gifting be suspended for? We are currently in the process of getting the suspension removed. We're not 100% sure when it will be removed. We just know that we are taking the right steps to get it done with for now. So hopefully in the near future it will be gone. Closest battle on track between Jack Plays and Blake, 5.2 seconds. And that just shows you how crazy this race has been as Llama goes on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. HTL Llama, he led this race for a long time under the safety cars. Eventually came in for the drive-through penalty. Then had to make a pit stop as well. Was quite lucky with, I believe, the 4th safety car of the evening that was able to allow him to pit and still be close to everyone else. He carved his way through the field, and Llama, most certainly a deserving victor here today. The Ferrari man pushing on through the middle sector here in Baku. Little bit of a lock-up for him. He won't mind that at all. Saban gonna finish 10 seconds behind Llama in the end. And I'm sure Saban would have been hoping for a win today. Luke is going to take a podium in this race. The strategy ultimately working out for him. I think really anyone could have finished on the podium with all the safety cars we had. As HCL Llama then through the final couple of corners. There may have been a lot of chaos, but Llama has stood tall and found the eye of the storm. As the round 1 result is going to go to the Ferrari man, HTL Llama sees the checkered flag first and wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 10 seconds ahead of Saban. Luke M will come home for P3, a podium here in MOR Esports tonight. The Haas car, I'm sure, will be delighted with that. Duran will take 4th place. After this man, MOR Blake's big mistake in the final few laps of this Grand Prix. Jack Plays will come home for 6th place. TTV Kian will finish in 7th with Lawless Fever in 8th. And Alcada coming home in 9th place. That has got to be one of the most chaotic, crazy, weird races I have ever seen in F1 League racing. Lawless Fever makes his way towards the line then. And that is your Azerbaijan Grand Prix over and done with. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in with me today. There are your results from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Apologies to Ollie, I do just realised that I skipped the whole fastest lap and all that sort of thing screen. My apologies, Ollie. We will get the race director for you just in case you need any of it. We'll have a quick scroll through. You can obviously pause if you do need anything at all. We will be back with you then, ladies and gentlemen, in about 35 minutes for the Wednesday 8 PM division. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. A pleasure to bring you the action as always. I'll see you when I see you. Until then, take care and ta-da.